The ultimate fifth-generation showdown. When two ghosts meet. What happens when two aircraft designed to avoid detection are sent into the same sky? What happens when two nations with completely different visions of air warfare build their ultimate fighters, and one day, those fighters meet? On one side, the F-35 Lightning II, America's most widely deployed fifth-generation fighter. A stealth aircraft built around information, sensors, networking, and battlefield awareness. An aircraft designed not only to fight, but to see everything. On the other side, the Su-37 Felon, Russia's most advanced combat aircraft. A fighter built to combine stealth with speed, agility, and raw combat power. An aircraft designed to dominate both at long range and in close combat. At first glance, both aircraft belong to the same generation. Both claim stealth capabilities. Both represent decades of research and development. Both were created to defeat the most advanced threats on Earth. Yet, beneath the surface, they could not be more different. The F-35 believes victory comes through information, finding the enemy first, tracking the enemy first, and striking before the enemy even realizes a battle has begun. The Su-57 follows a different philosophy. It seeks balance, stealth, speed, maneuverability, heavy firepower, and the flexibility to fight in multiple ways. One aircraft is a silent hunter, the other is a stealthy predator with claws, and that difference may determine everything. Because modern air warfare is changing, the days of simple dogfights are fading. Battles are now fought through sensors, data links, electronic warfare, artificial intelligence, and missiles launched from beyond visual range. In this new battlefield, the aircraft that sees first often shoots first, and the aircraft that shoots first often survives. But there is a problem. Both the F-35 and the Su-57 were designed to avoid being seen. So, what happens when two ghosts enter the same battlefield? Who finds whom first? Who gains the advantage? And which aircraft truly deserves the title of the superior fifth-generation fighter? The answers begin now, because in the next chapter, we examine the foundations of both aircraft, their design philosophies, their engines, their performance, and the ideas that shaped them. Air Warfare Eagle. Eagle War Machine. Mission continues. Design philosophy and performance. Every fighter aircraft tells a story, not just through its weapons, not just through its speed, but through the philosophy behind its creation. And few aircraft illustrate this better than the F-35 Lightning II and the Su-57 Felon. At first glance, both are fifth-generation fighters. Both feature stealth technology. Both are designed for modern warfare. Yet their creators followed completely different paths. The F-35 was built around one idea: information dominance. American engineers believed that future wars would not be won by the aircraft that turned the hardest or flew the fastest. They believed victory would belong to the aircraft that could see everything, process everything, and strike first. As a result, the F-35 became a flying sensor platform, a battlefield intelligence hub. a stealth aircraft capable of collecting and sharing information across an entire combat network. The pilot is not simply flying a fighter. The pilot is managing an information ecosystem, receiving data from satellites, AWACS aircraft, naval forces, ground assets, and other fighters. In many ways, the F-35 fights with knowledge. The Su-57 followed a different vision. Russian designers wanted an aircraft that could perform across every phase of combat: stealth, speed, super maneuverability, heavy weapons, and long-range engagement. Rather than focusing on one area, the Su-57 attempts to combine many strengths into a single platform. Its aerodynamic design emphasizes agility. Its engines provide tremendous thrust, and future engine upgrades are expected to further enhance performance. In close combat, many analysts believe the Su-57 may possess an advantage over most Western fighters, especially when maneuverability becomes critical. Then comes speed. The Su-57 was designed with high-performance air combat in mind, while the F-35 prioritizes survivability and mission effectiveness. The result is two aircraft optimized for different battles. One seeks information superiority, the other seeks combat versatility. And then there is stealth, perhaps the defining characteristic of fifth-generation warfare. The F-35 was designed from the beginning to minimize its radar signature from multiple aspects: every angle, every surface, every detail, carefully shaped to reduce detection. The Su-57 also incorporates stealth features, but many experts believe Russian designers accepted certain compromises in exchange for higher speed, greater maneuverability, and broader mission flexibility. This creates a fascinating question. Would you rather be harder to detect or more capable once detected? Because that question lies at the heart of this entire comparison, and no battlefield will answer it the same way. One aircraft was built to win before the enemy sees it. The other was built to keep winning even after the enemy finds it. But aircraft do not fight alone. Their true power comes from what they can detect, what they can track, and what they can understand. Which brings us to the next chapter: the battle of sensors, the battle of radar, the battle for the first shot. Because in modern air warfare, the aircraft that sees first often wins first. Air Warfare Eagle. Eagle War Machine. Mission continues.
Sensors, radar, and situational awareness. In modern air warfare, the most dangerous pilot is often the one you never see, because today's battles are no longer decided by eyesight. They are decided by sensors, radar, electronic warfare, and information. The fighter that detects first usually shoots first, and the fighter that shoots first usually survives. This is where the F-35 enters its most powerful territory. The F-35 was designed around information superiority. Everything about the aircraft revolves around collecting data, processing data, and sharing data. Its AN/APG-81A Caesar radar is only one part of a much larger system. The aircraft also uses distributed aperture system, electro-optical targeting system, electronic support measures, and advanced sensor fusion. All of these systems work together, constantly gathering information from every direction, creating a complete picture of the battlefield. For the pilot, this means fewer blind spots, less confusion, and faster decisions. Many pilots describe the F-35 as seeing the battlefield differently from previous fighters, not just farther, but more clearly. Then comes one of the aircraft's greatest advantages: sensor fusion. Instead of presenting information from multiple systems separately, The F-35 combines everything into a single integrated picture. The pilot does not need to interpret dozens of screens. The aircraft helps organize the information automatically, allowing the pilot to focus on fighting. In many ways, the F-35 is as much a flying computer as it is a fighter aircraft. But the Su-57 is not blind, far from it. Russia equipped the aircraft with a sophisticated sensor suite of its own, including the N-036 Bielka radar system, AESA radar arrays, side-looking radar panels, and advanced infrared search and track systems. Unlike radar, infrared sensors do not emit signals, they simply observe, which means they cannot be detected in the same way. This gives the Su-57 an additional method of locating aircraft without revealing its own position. Some analysts believe that future air combat may increasingly rely on passive detection systems, especially against stealth aircraft, and this is an area where the Su-57 could become extremely dangerous. But there is another factor, perhaps the most important factor of all: networking. The F-35 was built from the beginning to operate as part of a larger combat ecosystem, sharing information with other aircraft, ground stations, naval forces, and airborne command platforms. A single F-35 may not be fighting alone. It may be fighting with the awareness of an entire military network. The Su-57 is also evolving toward greater connectivity, but many analysts believe the United States currently holds a significant advantage in large-scale battlefield networking. And that advantage could determine who gains the first shot opportunity. Because, in a future conflict, the winner may not be the aircraft with the strongest engine or the aircraft with the tightest turn. The winner may be the aircraft that understands the battlefield first. And if that aircraft fires first, the fight may be over before either pilot ever sees the other. But seeing the enemy is only half the battle. The next question is even more important. What happens when the missiles leave the rails? Which aircraft possesses the deadlier weapons? Which aircraft can strike farther? And which aircraft is more likely to survive a long-range engagement? The answers await in Part 4. Air War Machine Eagle. Eagle War Machine Eagle. Mission continues.
Weapons and long-range combat. Finding the enemy is only the beginning. The real question is simple. Can you destroy the enemy before he destroys you? Modern air warfare is increasingly fought at distances where pilots never see each other. Missiles travel faster than sound. Sensors track targets hundreds of kilometers away, and decisions are made in seconds. This is the world of BVR combat, beyond visual range. For the F-35, the primary weapon is the AIM-120 AMRAAM family, particularly the AIM-120D, a missile designed to engage targets at long range, using advanced guidance systems, data link updates, and high resistance to electronic countermeasures. The missile does not simply fly toward a target. It continuously receives information, adjusting its path, correcting its course, and maximizing the chance of a successful intercept. Combined with the F-35's sensor network, it creates a highly dangerous first strike capability. But Russia has its own answer, the R-177M, an evolution of the original R-177, designed specifically for modern air combat, featuring improved range, enhanced guidance, and greater effectiveness against advanced targets. The R-177M is expected to become one of the primary weapons carried by the Su-57, giving Russian pilots a credible long-range engagement capability. But the story does not end there, because both nations are already looking beyond today's missiles. The United States is developing AIM-260 JTM, a next-generation air-to-air missile intended to surpass current capabilities, longer range, higher performance, and improved survivability in contested environments. Russia is pursuing its own advanced missile developments, seeking greater reach, greater speed, and improved lethality. This means future air combat may become even more dangerous, with aircraft capable of launching weapons from extraordinary distances, sometimes before either pilot realizes a threat exists. Yet, missile range alone does not guarantee victory, because missiles still need a target. And this is where stealth changes everything. A stealth aircraft may reduce detection range, delay target acquisition, and complicate missile guidance. In theory, the F-35's stealth could allow it to approach closer before being detected, giving it valuable seconds, or even minutes, to launch the first attack. The Su-57 also incorporates stealth technology, but many analysts believe the F-35 maintains an advantage in overall low observability, especially from frontal aspects. If true, this could significantly influence long-range engagements, because the first aircraft to detect often becomes the first aircraft to shoot. Yet there is one final factor, the human factor: training, tactics, experience, decision-making under pressure. Even the most advanced missile cannot compensate for poor strategy, and even the most advanced aircraft can be defeated by a smarter opponent. So who holds the advantage? The stealth-focused hunter from America, or the agile predator from Russia? The answer is not as simple as many people believe, because air combat is never decided by one feature. It is decided by the combination of technology, training, information, weapons, and timing. And that brings us to the final verdict. If these two fifth-generation fighters met in a real conflict, who would have the greater chance of walking away, and which aircraft truly represents the future of air warfare? The answer awaits in Part 5, Air War Machine.
Final verdict. Throughout this documentary, we have explored two of the most advanced fighters ever created. Two aircraft born from different nations, different military doctrines, and different visions of future warfare. The F-35 Lightning II, a fighter designed around stealth, information superiority, network-centric warfare, and first-shot advantage. An aircraft built to dominate the battlefield through awareness, not necessarily through speed or maneuverability. The Su-57 Felon, Russia's answer to fifth-generation warfare. A fighter designed to balance stealth, high performance, super maneuverability, and long-range combat capability. So, who wins? The honest answer is, there is no simple answer, because air combat is never decided by a single specification. If the battle begins at long range, with complete support from satellites, AWACS, and integrated combat networks, many analysts believe the F-35 could hold the advantage. Its stealth characteristics, sensor fusion, and battlefield awareness were specifically designed for this environment. If the engagement moves closer and maneuverability becomes critical, the Su-57 may become increasingly dangerous. Its aerodynamic performance, high agility, and combat flexibility could create opportunities that few aircraft can match. But perhaps the most important lesson is this: neither aircraft was designed to fight alone. The F-35 is part of a vast combat ecosystem. The Su-57 is expected to operate alongside future Russian systems, drones, missiles, electronic warfare assets, and integrated air defense networks. The future battlefield is becoming a battle of systems, not simply a battle of aircraft. In that future, the winner may not be the fighter with the highest speed, or the strongest engine, or even the lowest radar signature. The winner may be the side that integrates technology, information, and decision-making more effectively than its opponent. And that is why the debate between the F-35 and Su-57 remains unresolved, because neither aircraft has yet faced the other in a full-scale modern conflict. Theories exist, predictions exist, simulations exist, but reality remains unknown. Yet one thing is certain: both aircraft represent the future of military aviation. Both have changed the way nations think about air power, and both will continue shaping the skies for years to come. But as advanced as these fighters are, the next generation is already approaching. Aircraft even more stealthy, more intelligent, and more connected than anything flying today. The era of sixth-generation warfare has already begun. And that raises one final question. What happens when today's fifth-generation champions must face the fighters of tomorrow? Air War Machine. Eagle War Machine. Mission continues.